Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from GFQ and says, boyfriend, male 27, bought his female friend a Tiffany necklace for her birthday. I, female 27, feel weird about it. Help me decide if I'm blowing this out of proportion before I overreact. My boyfriend of 11 months has a best friend. A girl best friend. I've been totally fine with this from the beginning because she was here before me and they've been friends since college. Although I feel it's important to add they've never had the chance to date because they were both in relationships when they met. She's also been single for the past 3 months. Her birthday is this Friday, and my boyfriend wanted to get her something really special. I thought that was sweet of him until I realized what he had bought her. Now I feel it's extremely inappropriate, and at the risk of sounding like a bitch, I want him to take it back. He claims she's been wanting this specific necklace from Tiffany's forever, so he bought it for her. He refused to tell me how much he spent on it, but I found an identical one on their website that costs $250. Here's the link. And the link instantly points to like a necklace with like a sort of a heart shape hanging off of it, but there's also other products on there as well, so I'm not totally sure. To put it mildly, my boyfriend's really excited to give it to her. He says it's also a thank you gift for helping him get through a couple of shitty semesters at graduate school. She's extremely smart and was in the same program. Okay, fine, but a necklace? Why not a gift card or something less romantic? She wants to have a friend date with him on Thursday as an early birthday celebration, so he's taking her out for lunch or dinner on Thursday, which means they're going to get drunk. I've never had a problem with this girl, but I don't like how close they are. She's always been nice to me, but I can't help but feel they might have some underlying feelings for each other. How can I solve this? Perhaps I could suggest to him that we both get her something and then have him take back the necklace while we still have time. Any ideas? I'm going to start off with Meant for Amazing, who says, I have a male BFF. We go out drinking together. I've met his girlfriends and vice versa. We go out to eat together, etc. But if he were ever to spend that much money on a birthday gift, I'd 1. Think he was crazy and insist he take it back. 2. Think he was romantically interested in me. I think you need to tell him how completely inappropriate this gift is. If he wants to give her a gift card to Tiffany for similar value, I think that would be much more appropriate. But picking out a necklace, a heart necklace, very suspect. Is your boyfriend good at social/interpersonal understanding? Chocolate Heartbreak replies to that and says, I want to add to this. If you look through my history, you can see I'm huge on giving benefit of the doubt. However, in this case, even I can't do that. I understand giving an expensive gift because your friend gave you one. I even understand being like, oh, she said she wanted this, then she'll probably love the gift and it'll make her happy. We always want people to like the presents we give them, but the heart is where my benefit of the doubt stops. It's possible your boyfriend is dense and didn't connect it. I've seen plenty of posts here with people who have brain fart moments, but I know it's drilled into everybody's head from commercials, at least in the US, that a heart means love, commitment, etc. I used to give hearts as gifts to friends as a kid, but even then never to a guy. I mean, even in middle school a heart was something you draw on cards for your female friends but wouldn't give a guy because they'd think you liked them, and I was 11. Unless your boyfriend lives under a rock or really didn't even think about the implication, I'm not sure this is good news. I don't want to paranoia bandwagon though. I'd suggest just talking to him about it. That you understand she's important, but she might take it the wrong way, and maybe he can get an equally expensive gift or another type if he's trying to equal prices. On the flip side, I'm the type of person who, if I had that kind of money to be spent on a best friend, I would. Hell, if I could buy an iPad for my best friend, I would. Nothing to do with gender or feelings, I just love them as a person, and an expensive gift can be seen as a gesture saying I care about you and think you deserve something nice. Penis Butt says, names, I'm a married female and have a male best friend. For mine and my friends' birthdays, we usually get each other DVDs or joke gifts. I'd be very uncomfortable if my friend got me something like this, and I know my husband would. Is your boyfriend listening to your concerns, or is he blowing them off? D. James says, yeah, I'm sorry, but a Tiffany necklace is not a thank you gift. Tiffany is what you give your lover or wife. Hence why girls freak out when their boyfriends get them something from that store. This is completely inappropriate. I talked to him about it. There is a chance he might just be dense and not understand what this gift symbolizes. And one more comment from Broken Phoenix, who says, it's shaped like a heart. Okay, I could probably forgive giving her a super expensive necklace if she was that important to him. I know how important friends can be. But a heart-shaped necklace? No, not cool, not cool at all. You know why she wants it, why he knows about that specific necklace, because it's shaped like a heart and she wants his heart. I'd be willing to bet anything that the only reason she wants that necklace because she wants it from him. So much wrong here, so much wrong. But OP does come in with her update and says, first of all, thank you all so much for all the support on my prior post. I can't believe how many comments I received. I had a sit down talk with my boyfriend this afternoon. He was very supportive and understanding, for the most part. I explained my feelings to him regarding the Tiffany heart necklace and he immediately agreed to return it. He seemed really disappointed over it, but he said he understood where I was coming from. So what we were going to do was buy her something together as a couple. We'd already came up with a list of ideas and planned to go shopping tomorrow, until the friend date. This is where things got ugly. I explained that I was uncomfortable with the situation because I said I felt like she had feelings for him, which he disagreed with. I asked him if it was okay if I came along and he said, probably, but I should tell her first. So I told him to text her and ask if it was okay, which she did right in front of me. Immediately she replied, I guess, sad face. As we were sitting there talking, she sent a second text that said, why can't it just be you and me? He replied and said he wanted me to come with them, which seemed to piss her off because the next thing she sent is, weird, so if I invite you to this concert next month, it better be just you and me. I already bought you a ticket. He responds and says he can't promise anything. Next thing you know, she texts, great, so in other words, your girlfriend's being a bitch and not letting you see me alone. I have to go to work, we'll talk tonight. The fuck? This just proves that she's a snake. I told my boyfriend I wasn't going to put up with it and that he needs to start making some hard decisions. Immediately he agreed and said he'd fix things. He said he'd end the friendship if he had to in order to keep me. So I guess they're going to meet up and talk tomorrow. Oh, and fuck her birthday. And we do have a final update to this story as well, but I'm just going to give you some comments to show you the general gist of the post. Starting with Whiskey Monk, who says, yeah, for the record, when my male friends start dating someone, I always try to befriend their SO. If I want to hang out with them, I always invite the person they're dating, and I usually do it verbally so the SO is present so they know I want them around. Also, as for my married friends, I always include the both of them for everything. Buying one gift? Too bad, you're buying two. Or something they can both use. I never want any lingering thoughts of insecurity from my friends' wives. A friend is deliberately trying to put a wedge between you guys. That, or she's lacking some serious consideration and manners. Someone says, did he respond to her calling you a bitch? Because that is not something you should put up with. Opie says, yep. He said, I don't talk badly about your boyfriend, so don't talk badly about my girlfriend. Otherwise, you can fuck off. She sent back, sorry, with a sad face. Dr. Not Escalator says, honestly, I don't see the friend as a snake. I see her as being blindsided by you suddenly not being okay with them doing things close friends do, like go to dinner or go to concerts together, and she's hurt and confused and lashing out. Maybe not the nicest thing to do, but I can see where she's coming from. They've been friends for a long time. There was no problem, and now suddenly there is. Usually that's the first step to the friendship dying. If it's a close friendship, that sucks. I think you're overreacting a bit by calling her a snake, and so is your boyfriend by saying he'll end the friendship. Calm down and think things through instead of making snap decisions. And one final comment before the update, which says, yeah, your boyfriend really threw you under the bus here. In all honesty, it sounds like your boyfriend is the snake. He buys her flowers and a heart necklace, and he agrees to go to lunch with her alone for her birthday. You find a problem with it, and all of a sudden, with no arguments, he sways it in the complete opposite direction. He then tells her that he can't ever spend any time alone with her, without giving her a reason except that you want to chaperone. He's making you out to be controlling, manipulative girlfriend. I'm willing to bet anything when he talks to her he'll be doing some major damage control and calling you a bitch to your back. He acts inappropriately by mistake and then is a super boyfriend. No, he knows exactly what he's doing. This entire story sounds fishy to me. So then OP comes in with their final update and says, I apologize in advance if this comes out to be a huge fucking mess. It turns out he's not as innocent as I'd previously thought, and now I look like a fucking fool here. Last night I stayed at his place and we talked some more. He said he was going to return the necklace first thing in the morning. Well, he lied. I went over to his place on my lunch hour and the damn thing was still laying on his nightstand. He claimed he forgot to take it back and will have to do it later. In my guts I felt like he was stalling me, and I was right. As I mentioned in my prior post, my boyfriend and his best friend were going to have a talk today. I honestly believed he was going to distance himself from her and explain to her that her actions were inappropriate. Well, that didn't happen. After 2 hours without hearing anything from him, I texted him to find out what was going on because I wanted to see him tonight after their talk. He responded and said he just wanted to have a night to himself. Right away, alarm bells were going off in my head because he's sending me short texts and is barely answering any of my questions. I told him his evasive behavior was really beginning to worry me, and he replied, I'm sorry, I'm just confused. I text back, what do you mean you're confused? Confused about what? He took forever to respond, but eventually admitted he was confused about our relationship. Instead of fighting over text, I went over to his place to figure out what the problem was. After lots of arguing, he finally gave me the truth. Apparently, during their talk this afternoon, she told him she's had feelings for him since college and it's gotten to the point now where it's hard for her to be around him. I asked him if the feelings were mutual and he replied, I don't know. In other words, yes. I asked what else was said during this talk and he said she basically feels bad because she feels like she's ruining our relationship and getting in between us. Well, no shit. That's when he brought up the idea of us possibly going on a break so he can sort their friendship out. I told him I would never agree to something like that because it just gives him a license to sleep with her, which brought up my next point. I asked if he ever cheated on me with her and suddenly he became very defensive. He said they only fooled around back when he was single. Funny how he never mentioned that before. I told him I didn't believe him because of how defensive he was. He then admitted that she kissed him during their talk, but he pulled away after a couple of seconds because he felt bad. But that's all that happened. Yeah, I'm not stupid. Even if it was just a kiss, he should have made it clear to her that he wasn't interested. Not this, I don't know if I have feelings for her BS. At that point, I told him that we're done. Our relationship is over. I don't want to be in a relationship with someone I can't trust. He didn't even fight for me. All he did was apologize and said he didn't mean to hurt me. Whatever, it's all bullshit. All the signs were there, but I chose to ignore them. The flowers, the watch, the heart necklace, the way she acted around him, etc. All the signs were there. I'm really trying to look on the bright side. I know I deserve better. I already feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. My relationship wasn't going anywhere, especially with her in the picture, and I should have ended it earlier. I'm extremely grateful that this happened now and not a couple of years down the road when we were engaged or something. I have plenty of great friends and family to lean on for support, so everything will be fine. I'm moving on for good. Thank you everyone for your help over the past couple of days. It's been really therapeutic writing all this stuff down. And I thought I missed a part about the flower and the watch, but there was an additional comment, so I'm just going to add those comments on the very end just so you get the full story. Opie said, oh fuck, don't get me started on the flowers. We had an incident on Valentine's Day where he sent her some. He knows better now. Edit, I'll explain. She got dumped the day before Valentine's Day and claimed to be sad because she wasn't going to get any flowers. My boyfriend, being a hero, sent flowers. In another comment, OP quoted someone saying, has this relationship between your SO and his BF caused issues before or seemed a bit off? OP said, not at first. I didn't feel things were off until she gave him a $225 watch for his birthday. I specifically asked her if she had any ideas for me because I wanted to get him something special, and she flat out told me she had no clue what he wanted. Then she pulls that stunt and buys him that watch. Made me feel like shit. I really don't know. It's just weird. I'd never been in a relationship with a guy before that had a best girlfriend. It's like she knows she's special to him and she tries to rub it in my face. She's super sweet to my face, almost to the point of being fake, so it's not like I can call her out or anything. I never understand when they can see their relationships in a hard place and they got this stuff going on, and he's making the suggestion of, oh, can we just take a break so I can sort the friendship out? Basically so he can try both sides and see which he prefers. I mean, that is just, I always find that mind-blowing, that thinking. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. And our next story is going to come from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit. Doesn't have an update as yet, from Cool Temperature 316, and says, am I the arsehole for telling my in-laws that if they want a grandchild, they should give my wife her inheritance now? Basically, my in-laws want their only child, my wife Diana, to start pumping out grandchildren. Diana is 28 and just finishing her PhD. Then she wants to get established in a career before we start a family. My in-laws know how much money I make and they know we could live comfortably off my earnings. This isn't what Diana wants. She has worked her ass off to get where she is and she wants to reap the rewards of her hard work. She also says that once she is working, then I can cut back on my hours and I'm a welder and relax a little. I've been working since I was 15, so literally half my life. I make a very good living in return for a lot of fairly hard work. I've supported Diana and her education. She will graduate without student loans. We have a house, she has a good car, we have a good life. We want a few more years alone before we start our family. Over Christmas, the in-laws just wouldn't drop it. I finally snapped. I said if they wanted grandchildren, they could reimburse us for her education. They could further pay her the salary she would be giving up. When she returned to work, they could pay her the difference between what she could be earning and her entry-level position. They could pay for a nanny so my wife could work. Or they could back off and wait for us to be ready. They said they couldn't afford all of that. I asked them how they expected us to afford it. I said that if it was really what they wanted, they could just give her the inheritance that would be coming her way now instead of later. They got all offended and said it's not hers until they don't need it anymore. Diana asked me to drop it. She's tried dozens of times to explain to her parents why we are waiting. They just ignore her. They ignore what we want for our lives. They have been very cold since Christmas. They seem to think I was a rude arsehole for pointing out the costs of what they are asking for. A lot of her family agree with them that I went too far in asking them to pay if they want a grandchild now instead of later. I'm going to start off with the bad agent who says not the arsehole. They have to be reminded in very strong terms that is literally none of their business. They have absolutely no say whatsoever in when you both choose to procreate. Not being nice about it, they need to be put in their proper place. If they want a new baby around, their option is to adopt. That's where they have a say. Otherwise, they need to shut the fuck up and back all the way off. HB Headache says not the arsehole, been there. Husband was studying for his PhD and we kept getting that question. Eventually I snapped and pointed out the only person with a permanent job was me and would be waiting until we had one too. Pretty sure it didn't help my relationship with my in-laws, but that was their problem. Corgi Huntress replies to that saying, same here, only I was getting the PhD. Father-in-law kept asking us if we were in the pink yet. Eventually he gave up. We had our kid 10 years after we got married, after I got my MA and my PhD and been working. Luckily I went far away so I didn't have to listen to that question often. Thank goodness, or I'd have to say something entirely inappropriate. Now that I think about it, I wish I had. That would have been fun. Bro, what's with the father-in-law saying in the pink yet? I'm hoping that's something to do with an actual the lines on a pregnancy test. Holy shit. Alpha Wolfrin says, was your snapback harsh and arsehole-ish? Yes. Was it deserved? Absolutely. Sometimes we need to be arseholes. They were constantly persistent and pressuring you both, despite your wife repeatedly explaining why you both wanted to wait. They needed to be shut down once and for all. Moving forward, if they try to start up again, keep it short and firm. We aren't ready, we aren't discussing this, and move on. ETA, justified arsehole / not the arsehole. Maywell Flower says, not the arsehole, they wanted grandkids that badly, they should help pay for. Yet they have the audacity to want them when they themselves can't afford, while trying to trample your wife's work and career plans. Honestly, your in-laws and their flying monkeys need to shut the fuck up now and forevermore, because when you and her do have children, you and your wife can prevent and block them from being around said children. And a final comment from Kick It, who says, everyone sucks here. Them for pushing and giving you unsolicited opinions about your married life. And both of you for not just having clear boundaries and not just shutting it down straight up. Instead, you got into a stupid back and forth about money. Their finances are none of your business, and your reproductive track is none of their business, so why engage like that? You both need to practice firm boundaries now if you're even considering having kids. Mum and Dad will start a family when and if we are ready at some point, and at that point we will inform you. We'll not engage in any further discussion on this. Change subject here. Each and every time it comes up, shut it down. Leave or end a phone call if you have to. Leave a cooling off period for a while it gets heated. Do not try to engage in back and forth or personal discussion. If you don't engage and you're consistent in response, they can't ignore it. If they really started handing over money, would that actually change your wife's mind anyway? I highly doubt it. She's establishing a career first, which is perfectly normal in this day and age. You responded to the situation in a way that wasn't even meaningful for the situation, nor is it something your wife would have agreed with. But now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. Put yourself in OP's position. How would you have dealt with it? Maybe you agree with that everyone sucks here comment. Maybe you have a different opinion on the matter. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved, truly. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Yeah, man, I remember being so naive when life was good, weather and palm trees. Back in the day, you were everything I need. But then along came a time when you crushed my dreams. Oh yeah, you played me like a fool when you made me believe that the line between love wasn't thick enough to read. Oh yeah, you see we in despair, crime everywhere. You're selling false hope cause you just don't care. Nah, you just don't care. Nah, you just don't care. You just don't. Still selling false hope cause you just don't care. House.